Hi guys, so in today's video I'm interviewing Dylan Reed, a six-figure Amazon seller. I couldn't catch him last week because he was away in Croatia, but now he's in the country. I've got him, I've nailed him down. But Dylan, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us, a bit about your journey and how you started?
Yes, mate. Well, firstly, good to speak. We've got there finally. I know we had a bit of a disaster with the old network when I was out in Croatia. It wasn't ideal, but no, landed back in Bristol late last week. So yeah, back and we're ready to rock and roll. So I'll give a bit of a background, bud, into myself, a little bit of my personal life, and what led me to to start selling on Amazon essentially. So I am 27 now, based in the UK. I did the whole uni thing. I felt a lot of pressure to go to university. So my brothers had been, my sister went. I decided to go. Don't know whether it was the right decision, actually, to be honest, looking back on it. But I wouldn't discourage anyone from going. But I probably wasn't the best idea for me. All throughout university, I didn't have much money. I was always strapped for cash and looking for ways to make money online. It wasn't easy. Couldn't really find any way of doing so. This is way back in 2013. So finished uni and decided to sort of save up a little bit. Actually worked in a few stores to save up to go on a ski season. Highly recommend anyone to do a ski season if they haven't. It is the best 6 months of your life. Honestly, it was so good. You meet so many great people. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Even whilst I was doing that, I had an underlying urge to get something going online. I remember one of the boys who was on the season with me. He'd set up a website called Rate My Lecturer, I think it was called. This is my memory casting back a while now. But he'd done really well with that. And again, that kind of inspired me a bit. Got home, worked a bit more. I went traveling again to Australia and did a bit of, traveling around there, worked in a gym and did some sort of teaching, volunteering out in Cambodia as well, and travel around Thailand. I did the whole gap year thing, right? Got out there and got busy, had a good time.
Awesome,
but yeah, I got back, bud, right? And when I got back, would have been in mid-2015, my calling was, drew me towards teaching, right? So I did another degree. This was probably a worthwhile degree, a post-grad, and qualified as a teacher. Now, it was at this point, right, that I was exposed to Amazon. Now, I know we always talk about, on YouTube, lots of people these days, the majority of people stumble across Amazon through, third parties, watching other people on YouTube, people they don't probably know. I was quite lucky, so I had a close friend, someone who I'm still friends with, to today. We trained in the gym together, and he'd set up his own Amazon business, right? So we'd be training every day. I'd have finished a 9 to 5, working, solid hours, mate. And I'd get to the gym. I'd hop on the cross trainer next to this dude, and he'd get his phone out, and he'd have done £100 that day, and it was with one product as well. So he did really well with that, and I was exposed to that directly. So that was definitely one of the driving factors, that got me started. Because as you know, the biggest problem that people seem to have, right, and quite rightly so, a problem that I would have, is if you haven't got direct contact with someone who's doing it, it's hard to know if it's real. And, is this really happening? Is the opportunity as good as these people say it is? Me and you know that it is. So, I eventually, after a long time of sitting on the fence, I launched my first product. That was way back. I set up the company in November 2016, launched my first product in January 17. I didn't really know what I was doing at the beginning, tried to do it all on my own, and it took a while to get that product going, 4 months or so. So moving into July 17, that product took off, with the right help, and the rest is history. I launched 4 products following that first one. So not your conventional approach to this, to the Amazon, business model. Usually we do one by one, but, I went for it. And, I launched 4 more, and, that led me into Christmas, and I've expanded right the way up now, moving into 2018, 13 private label products at the moment. It's pretty cool, yeah. And I'm obviously, I designed my own course now, which I launched sort of 4 months ago. So I've got about 155 students now who I'm working with, solidly, all entrepreneurs, people who are looking to get started with FBA. So yeah, mate, honestly, it's crazy what you can do.
What a journey.
I know.
So what start? Like obviously your friend done it as well, and he's making £100 profit a day, or is that turnover a day?
Yeah, it was about I would say about £60 profit a day or £50 profit a day. The £100 was turnover, but that was with one product. So
Great.
50 a day times by 30 was like £1.5 or something. So exactly 1.5k
on the side. He was obviously side hustling, wasn't he, and making it work for him. I mean, obviously you've seen the proof there, and obviously you took advantage of that and obviously went for it.
100%. And that was.
Is he doing big figures like you now? Or
mate, he's still going. I was with him today training. He'll be watching this, so shout out. But yeah, he's still going. He's doing solid figures every month, and he's loving it. And that's his full-time job now. Same as me. I don't work anymore. When I say I don't work, I work pretty hard on my Amazon business and scaling it, but I don't work for anyone now, which is good.
Awesome, Dylan. What a journey. I mean, what a year as well. I mean, you built it so quick in terms of scaling your business.
Yeah.
But you've obviously had some good months, obviously, on your journey. But what would you say your best month's been?
Mate, the best month, right, is a crazy month that I had back in December 2017. So this was still fairly early on. And I actually hit £37,000 in that month in revenue. However, that was actually going out of stock halfway through the month. And if you have a look at my Instagram, I don't know whether your followers have following me on Instagram, but I think I posted in December, and you can see the stock kind of cut out halfway. So God knows what it would have done, bud. Probably, and that was only with like 8 or 9 products. So I'm hoping to exceed the 100k mark this December if that's possible.
That's awesome. Obviously, it's a struggle staying in stock, especially quarter 4
Biggest
when you've got the traffic there. Biggest quarter, isn't it? You've got to go for it.
The thing is, though, mate, it's a first world problem, isn't it? I've got too many customers. I can't cope. It's good. It's good.
Crazy figures.
Yeah, it's good. I think, like what we say, bud, I think there's something that's really important. These figures that you see from people online, and again, especially with wholesale sellers, they post these massive numbers, and we know that wholesale margins are very, very tight. So even if someone does 150k with wholesale, right, and they do a 3% profit margin on that, what's that, like $4,500 roughly, or $4,500? So like, I think with private label, I operate a 40 to 50% margin. I'm quite open about that, and that depends on PPC spend. So of that 37, we were looking at about 18 that was profit, not all of it. So things can seem better than they are, and it's good to be open about that, I think, and make sure everyone's aware of that.
I mean, God, what a month! You must have been checking your phone literally like every second.
Yeah, bud. Like honestly, I remember I was in full-time employment at the time. I was working teaching maths, English, and digital literacy, and every half an hour, I was just flicking down on my, we all know, all of you Amazon sellers out there, right? We all know about this Amazon seller app that we've got here.
Addictive, literally.
It is so addictive. And, I was just bam, 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 bam. I couldn't stop. This thumb was huge. I said to you last time, didn't I? I had a midget left and a massive right. Yeah, a thumb on gear. So honestly, but it was so exciting. I was working 50-hour weeks, and I was refreshing my phone. The best day I saw was $2,500, and these numbers are just mind blowing. And I'm so, mate, it's not like a boasting thing. It's just I want to show everyone what can be done. I'm so passionate about it, and I know that this can be replicated by people, and they can do exactly the same December this year and December next year. It's just about going for it, and people just need that, that initiative to just give it a try, like I did and like you did,
That is crazy. I mean, that just shows how much potential there is in Amazon FBA.
Yeah.
And like, to be fair, like, it's such a good time to start because not many people know about it. Because I remember when I set up my company, I went into the bank, seen the bank manager, told them what I was doing, and they didn't have a clue about the Amazon FBA business model. They didn't even know it existed.
No.
They thought Prime, membership, Prime products that had been sold were Amazon's own products.
Yeah.
And I was just blown away about how little people know about Amazon FBA.
I know, mate. I think
to start.
The mass, huge proportion of sellers on Amazon are third-party sellers. So that means sellers, like me and you. And I can admit to this and hold my hands up. Before I knew about FBA, I didn't even know we could sell on Amazon. I thought Amazon was Amazon. I thought it was its own entity, and there was no one else. But then it turns out there's people like me and you cashing in at the behind the scenes, So
cashing in big time.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I think although that was my best month, things have at the moment I'm out of stock for 3 of my SKUs at the moment, so I've only got 10 at the moment. And I'll show you my sales now. People are probably interested in the app and things, so you can run your sales. So they're down. We're about 17.5 this month, about 4 what are we seeing? 482 today. So they
Almost
pay
a £500 day.
Yeah, £500 a day, and that will hopefully end on about 700 today. And they pay you every 2 weeks, so that's your balance there. So anyone who's interested, you can download the app and get all that info onto your app then. So all
crazy
good.
figures, mate. Crazy.
All
Obviously,
good.
you got 13 products. 13 is it?
13.
So getting to 13 products it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a while, but on that journey for them 13 products to get shipped into Amazon, have you had any blips or have you had any like low times on that journey? Has anything gone wrong at all? Or?
Yeah, so biggest problem, but I had quite a significant problem. During my journey, I made a schoolboy error, a mistake that I would never make now, which was I chose not to sample one of my products, right? And I actually placed an order for, I know, bad. I shouldn't have been doing that. I was just so passionate at the time, and I was kind of clouded. My vision was clouded by the fact that everything was going so well. And I placed an order for 200 units, and they came to my house. Whenever I'm working with a new supplier, it was a new supplier, but I get the product shipped to my house to QC them, quality control, a quality check. And I did that with these products, but actually just before I was about to send them in, I did one last check and I realized that there was a massive issue, a defective issue, not just like something small that could be altered. And it was on every single one of those products. Now, I was literally sending them in the next day. And if those had gone into Amazon, we could have been looking at, something very bad happening. So luckily I picked up on that. Through quality, control. I hadn't worked with this supplier before, so I should have known better. Luckily, I caught them before they went in, and the issue was resolved beforehand. But it still was. That was a big setback, mate. Because, like it's not all about being able to fix the issue. It's about the knock-on effects of that issue happening. So I couldn't send my stock in for, we're talking probably 3 months after this issue happened. I probably would have had 600 units through Amazon by then, and made a significant amount. But it was all just paused, resolving this issue. So my main advice to everyone: sample your product. Something that I look at with my students now. It's just an absolute basic thing to do and a safeguard for everyone.
Definitely. I mean, in terms of that loss, did you bear the loss of that, or did your supplier bear the cost?
They did. So again, I although I made a mistake with regard to the checking, I did use the right channels, trade assurance, etc. And I made sure that I was covered in every aspect, and I was obviously able to resolve that without a financial loss. It was more the monetary loss for the delay that caused then for not sending them in, and just the hassle, mate. The stress of it. You're so excited. Everyone, my students at the moment launching products, they're all buzzing, and because they've done things the right way, they haven't got these obstacles and problems that, again, I shouldn't have faced. But because I went it alone, and again, way back when there was no one really around, then there was nowhere near as much YouTube content to help people, and people like you and I who are helping people. So I'm thankful for that.
So if anything, you kind of learnt the hard way, I suppose, haven't you? Come out the other end and smelling the roses. But play Dylan.
I don't know what roses, right? I don't know what roses.
See, trade assurance is so important, isn't it? Especially being a gold supplier, you need to look out for these things because, like you say, you're assured for it, aren't you? And it pays off.
100%. I think there's a lot of criteria with regard to sourcing the right suppliers and things, and that's one of the really important factors that you need to make sure you adhere to and you've got nailed when you get your products over.
See, big business, 13 products. How often do you spend on Amazon a day? Is it you on it 3-4 hours, or you're on it all day? How much does Amazon spend of your time?
Good question, right? And this is something I want to clear up, mate. And this is perfect. I think it might have been on your channel, Bud, right? Someone commented on one of your videos, quite rightfully, and I think you were posting about what work you did on Amazon, and they commented on it, as you should do if you're querying something. And they said, I thought Amazon was passive. What's all this work you're doing? Or someone says Amazon was passive. And I think it's important to clear that up, right? So we'll try and explain, how breakdown of my time at the moment. I like to sort of segment it, right, into two sections or two segments. Now, one, and you'll be familiar with this, one is maintenance work. Now, maintenance work is work that you do on your Amazon FBA business, which consists of, responding to customer queries, responding to customer emails, working on your stock, making sure your listings are fully optimized, your reviews. I had to do a lot of work with my keywords last week. That was maintenance work. It's just actually, maintaining what I've already got. Now, I would say my maintenance work on Amazon probably takes me around the 4 to 5 hour a week mark, in complete honesty. So about an hour a day, Monday to Friday, and that would be for 13 listings to keep them up and running with, you know, the demand and supply, and basically making sure everything is a-okay, right? But that's where the passive model lies, right? And that's why we preach, and you know, we paint this picture that it's very passive, because it is, right? If you do it, if you just grow and then maintain, it's very passive. But then we've got this other side to Amazon FBA, right? This is the exciting side. So this side is the growth, the expansion, the scaling of the business. Now that's the exciting part. I found that, you know, I couldn't stop. So, you know, although I've got all this free time, all that free time is just getting, you know, invested into product research, sampling new products, working with new suppliers, you know, basically everything that I can do to grow that portfolio to as big as I can get it. Now, that probably takes me about 20 hours a week. So that is, as you can see, 5 times the amount of the passive side, is because you get the bug, buddy. You know, you're the same. You're working now to launch new products, right? You've got super passionate about it and you want to launch now. So that's about 25 hours of my week. Bearing in mind now that time is very flexible. So, you know, my mates, you know, they rip it into me. They're like, Dale, you don't do any work, mate. You're just playing golf all day. And that's the thing. I do have the, because you've got the flexibility, right? You know, I play golf from 7 till 9 in the morning, and then I'm home, and then you do some work from 9 till 12, and then you go to the gym. And, you know, these people see your, you know, the better parts, but is obviously work. And obviously my main priority at the moment, I wouldn't say my priority, it's equal to my Amazon business, but my course and my students within the Super Seller Academy, that takes up at least 25 hours a week. So I'm working 55-hour weeks, but again, that's because I'm running a course. If I wasn't scaling and I wasn't running a course and just doing Amazon, we're looking at 5 hours. So that's not too bad for anyone who wants to do that.
Band as well, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm not working with anyone. Are you working with anyone yourself as well, or is it just you?
No, just me, on my own, giving it a go.
Lone wolf.
But lone wolf.
Lone wolf.
Like, in terms of your business, like the last 12 months, how much would you say you've turned over in the last 12 months? Obviously, you're still building your business, aren't you? You're still scaling.
Yeah, still growing. So I'm very lucky to say that I'll do about 250, and that's just projected 250K of revenue, at again about 40% margin. Within the last 12 months, I think I've done about 190 to 200 over the last 12 months, and that is, you know, still battling with stock issues. That is one of the only issues I have at the moment, because it's so hard. You know, you have manage inventory tools which help you project sales, but they're never accurate enough, mate. You know, and it is difficult. But no, about roughly 200 in the last 12 months and 250 in 2018, which is, I pinch myself, mate, every morning. Awesome. And you're the same. You're killing it, mate. You're going to be hitting, you know, 70 this year with one product. That is unbelievable achievement for yourself as well, mate. So, you know, well done for that as well. It's unbelievable, you know.
Of course. Cheers, Dan. I mean, it's all about growing, isn't it? So obviously, like, you see the figures, like, I mean, you see the benefits of it, but it takes time to build it. And like myself, I've not seen the profits yet. I'm reinvesting the profits 100%. And I'm waiting for the payday later on down the line.
Yeah, and again, you're reinvesting, like what we're saying, right? You're not looking at it as a one product, I'm going to make, you know, £2,000 a month. You're looking to grow and scale and reinvest. That's what a lot of people do. They get the bug. And I think that's definitely the, you know, the right approach to it, 100%.
I mean, the temptation's there. You know, your Amazon account's building up, but you've just got to leave it alone, reinvest it, and wait for a rainy day.
100%.
Well, obviously, you quit your job now, haven't you? Completely on your own, obviously smashing it. So where do you see the business going, Dylan? Obviously, you're still scaling, but have you got obviously everyone's got goals, but what are your goals for your business? Are they crazy? Are they realistic? You know, what are the goals?
Good question, buddy. Right, and this is something that's been brought to my attention recently. Right, and just a little bit of background is, you know, some people say to me, they see people on YouTube, you know, in their Ferraris or doing whatever they are, right, and it's really detached from reality, and they say to me that I'm not looking to make a $250,000 on Amazon. You know, it's not real. I'm not looking to make $500,000 on Amazon. All I want to do is make between £500 and £1,000 profit from one product a month, right? And that's what I'm looking to do. That's what's real for me at this point in my journey. Before I've done it, that's what I want to do. And it makes me reflect back, mate, because although I am doing these figures now, if I cast my mind back to when I started, that was not what I was looking to do. Money is not my motivator for this. It's time and spending time with family, friends, being able to be your own boss and have flexibility. And when I started, all I wanted to do was have one product, and that one product do exactly what I just said that most of my students look to do. But granted, there are some killer products like yours that do 2.5 a month profit, around that mark or even more. But my initial sort of objective was just much smaller, and I've kind of scaled up from that. And as you progress through this, your intentions change and your expectations they start to adjust to the growth that you're seeing. So I mean, I want to take the business up to 7 figures if possible, so quadrupling what I'm doing now in terms of revenue. I hope that that's possible. I believe that it is. Again, I'm willing to put the time in. I know that you're going to get up to 6 figures in no time at all. And I'll be speaking to you, mate. We're pals now. In 6 months, you're doing exactly what I'm doing, left your job and focusing on that scaling. But no, I'm hoping to take it to 7 figures in the next 12 to 24 months. Hopefully, with all that hard work.
It's definitely achievable, Dylan. Like, I don't know if you heard about Greg Mercer, the owner of Jungle Scout. I think he was doing about $500,000 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, he did have a small team behind him, but it was only about a team of 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But, serious figures. I know, obviously, he was like in the heyday when there's not many people doing it, and obviously he had the software behind him. But, the possibilities are endless, and like the potential.
I know.
Crazy.
And again, if I had, one thing that I could pass on as a message to anyone. I mean, the reason that me and you have created these YouTube channels, right? The reason that we are putting all of this content out there is to firstly help people and inform people and give tutorial-based instructional guides, on X, Y, and Z. But also, I think an inadvertent kind of benefit from me and you being online is just visibility. Young UK entrepreneurs who have put their sort of their head out there, if you will. They've made the effort, they've taken the initiative, they've taken action and launched a product on Amazon. So if I can sort of pass a message on to anyone, it would be, honestly, you will regret what you don't try more. Moving down the line, if you look back and think, oh, that could have been me, I could have done that, you'll regret more not trying than you will it failing. So that's what I thought. And I think as well as my buddy doing it, I thought to myself, Dill, if you don't do this, right, you are going to regret this so much down the line. If you see, my friend would have been doing amazing now, and I'd have been thinking, oh man, that could have been me. I could have been, running my own business now and not having to work 9 to 5. And I knew that I'd regret that more than failing. And I only started with 1,500 or 1,003. I put it out there, and I did things, the right way, not straight away, but eventually, and you make it work. So my advice would be, take action, listen to people who know what they're talking about, who've got a proven track record over the last year or 2 years, and just go for it, right? It's all positive vibes, happy days.
Biggest fear for me is regret. And like you say, Dylan, you need to nail it and just go for it, because if you don't, you literally are going to regret it. 100%. And what a time to start Amazon, honestly. Mate, what a time.
It is blowing up. It is growing so fast. And in 2019, people are going to have started at this point in the year, and they're going to be looking back a year and a half on thinking, I'm so happy that I gave this a go and I started and I've got this running for myself.
Definitely. What a time to start. I mean, sorry to talk about stocks and figures, but if you look at Amazon as a company this time last year, it was half the size, and now it's double the size.
Mate,
so obviously Amazon stocks, guys, if you're thinking about it, give it a go.
100%. And Jeff Bezos,
Amazon is growing crazy.
And in I think the Forbes Rich List, it was either the Forbes Rich List or it was some equivalent. Jeff Bezos is numero uno at the moment, number 1, above Mark Zuckerberg, above Bill Gates. He is number 1, the CEO of Amazon. They are dominating the marketplace. 40% of all online transactions, 40% go through Amazon, which is hardly believable, but it's happening. So put your product in front of these millions of customers. That's basically the message, So that's good stuff.
Times are changing, isn't it? The high street's dying, and everything is done online.
100%.
So that's the way to move forward. And you can have an online business for as little as £1,000.
I know.
No massive overheads, no staff, no rates, and you can just go for it, and you can play around and give it a go.
Yeah.
What to lose? You take action and go for it.
100%, bud. It's all good stuff.
Awesome. Anyway, just to wrap things up, Dylan, great to have you on the channel.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll catch up again in 6 months, have a recap, see where we are.
Mate, 100%. Honestly, it's a pleasure speaking to you, same as it was before. And again, I'll speak to you most certainly. I look forward to watching your journey, watching your channel grow, and again, watching your Amazon business grow, and hopefully your following is going to shoot up, as it has been over the last couple of months as well.
Awesome. Cheers, then. Like I say, guys, check out Dylan's channel. I'll put the link in the description. Awesome channel, great contact, really informative. And yeah, check it out, guys. But cheers, Dylan. Thanks, mate.
Sweet, mate. See you soon. Bye, guys.